time, we've got Nyx versus MrOpium. Now, of course, as you guys know, Saltor did make it through true playoffs, that is, of course. We're just having a little show match here between Nyx and MrOpium because they haven't faced each other just yet, and it's going to be a pretty interesting one. My name is Larc, and I'm joined with Chris. Chris, how are you doing, man?
I'm doing great. I love the matches that we have seen so far, and thanks for having me again. And of course, just the players, they got knocked down by Celador, who, just like you mentioned, will be heading into the playoffs. And I have to say though, with it, for these two players, they have some pretty interesting decks of their own, and I hope we'll be able to see them again.
Yeah, I'm very interested to see the Bring Back to Life deck, and that is the Shaman deck, if I'm not mistaken, or the Shaman, or however you want to call it. It's a pretty interesting one coming from MrOpium, and it is called Bring Back to Life because, as y'all know, he's running the Ancestral Spirit there, so that could be a pretty interesting one. Really hope that he plays. I really hope that he opens with that one. Sorry. Unfortunate that he didn't use the Shaman deck against Celador there. Could have had a chance to get back into a 3-game series, but unfortunately opted to go with the Priest and just got taken out really quickly there. And of course, Celador just playing it really well and really right, and was able to get a 2-0 victory both against these two guys here. So, and seems like a little bit of crash in their end, but nevertheless, what do you think both these players are going to be opening up with?
I would love to see the Druid deck from Nyx here. I'm looking through the deck list. There are some really interesting cards that are in the deck, actually. Stuff like Violet Teacher, and the most glaring one to me is Gelvin Mechatoroch.
Gelvin, I know. Oh my god. Okay, guys, let it be known. The Gelvin Mechatoroch is the worst card ever. I think I've mentioned this like time and time again. It's a 6 mana cost 5/5 that gives you a random, I guess you could call it a random mechanic or something like that. That
Invention.
Invention, sorry, invention. That there's 3 types, right? Or is there 4?
There's the Homing Chicken, the Pulverizer, and the one with the extremely long name that I can't remember, but it
something
gives,
5,000,
it gives a random.
right?
Yeah, it gives a random minimum 1/1. So
Yeah.
there's that. I actually don't think that Galban is the worst card in the game. For me, it's actually Millhouse Manastorm.
Okay, yeah. I've actually seen that being played in Arena where someone played the Millhouse Manastorm, and then the next turn the the Rogue just played a Sprint and got instant card draw for free. So that was pretty hilarious to see that happen. But yeah, I mean, both these cards generally pretty bad for sure. Gelbin Mechatoroch, of course, can't really blame that card for being so bad, as that is just kind of like a souvenir for people that do, put in a little bit of money, invest a bit of money into Hearthstone. Kind of a little gift there for them for, supporting the game and all that kind of jazz. But yeah, I mean, he's running quite a few legendaries actually. If you take a look at the deck coming up from the Druid here for Nyx, it's actually called Lolcake. So I think it's a pretty good name, seeing as to he's running a whole bunch of random legendaries, and like you said, Violet Teacher, man. Violet Teacher being played in this deck because he's got quite a huge amount of spells. He's got Innervates, he's got Claw, he's got Power of the Wilds, Rafts, and Savage Roar, and all that kind of jazz. So maybe there is a way that it can work. Whether or not it is the case, that's another thing that remains to be seen. But yeah, man, it's just so hilarious to see that this Lolcakes deck is running that Gelbin Mechatoroch. Whether or not it's gonna happen though here if we're gonna see that deck, that's another thing we have to wait for. But yeah, I mean, so you're hoping for his Druid deck to be played. What about MrOpium though?
Well, I would actually love to see the Paladin deck again, the one that he pulled out against Celador. But hopefully he gets some better luck with that. But I have some questions though, like regarding the Acidic Swamp Ooze. I think that's trying to counter out the Hunter decks.
Yep.
But yeah, actually now we are into the game now. We'll keep those questions for later when actually MrOpium gets his hands on the Ooze here. And actually, it's gonna be the case. We are gonna see the
Paladin?
lol kicks. Yep, the lol kicks from Nyx as well. So pretty excited for this matchup.
Yep, so anyways, it seems like Nick's just gonna start off the game pretty decently there with the Argent Squire. No need to question that. MrOpium, unfortunately, does not have a play. He can coin out a reinforce there, but that's totally useless. So he's probably just gonna hold up and end the turn here.
Yeah, there's no pressure. At most, you'll just take like 1 damage from the Squire, but there's no problems there at all. And actually, 1 extra damage from 1 extra point of damage from the hero power, but there's no immediate big threat that you could that you need to address soon. So you can just pretty much take a time.
Yeah, for sure. So it seems like MrOpium, unfortunately, still doesn't have a turn 2 play. Just gonna go ahead and use the Silverhand Recruit. Nothing much you could do there.
Drop the dude.
Yep, drop the dude as you said, and Druid of the Claw gonna be the response after the Innervate, and that's a huge 4/6 minion on the board already. And now, MrOpium's thinking to himself, "Damn, what do I do?" He does have.
I think MrOpium.
Yeah, he does have a follow the rules there, the Elder Peacekeeper, and he's just gonna do it right now actually. So, okay, no, you can't attack that. You have to attack the taunt first. It's kind of weird. It's just gonna end.
I think it's so much hatred for the Druid of the Claw, and that was the one that was giving him trouble when he was going up against Celador actually.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's pretty hilarious. He's effectively now that Druid of the Claw is the dude killer right now. 1/6 can kill off 6 dudes for the price of 1, so it's pretty decent, I feel. MrOpium is gonna go ahead and yeah, he's gonna coin here, and I think he's probably thinking of using the Azure Drake for some card draw. No, he's actually gonna go ahead and throw down the Alright.
Yeah, I like this play much better actually.
Huge minion.
Now the pressure is on. Yeah, the pressure now is on Nyx's part.
Well,
and
he does.
Savage Roar is actually a pretty good option.
Yeah, he does have Savage Roar and Power of the Wild. That will spawn 2 students there for the Violet Teacher. So the teacher doing some really good teachings here. It's pretty nice to see. Look at that. That is now a 2/2 and a 4/2 on the board. 6/5, 6/6. Sorry, probably gonna address the 7/6 there. Or do you think he should just keep that?
Oh. He's actually thinking about going straight for the face here, and yeah, he's gonna go ahead and do that.
Well, wouldn't you actually use the 4/6 to kill the 3/3? Yeah, he's gonna do that. So, well, he's gonna trade everything else on the board, and I don't know. Do you think keeping the Violet Teacher would have been the better choice?
Well, you did spawn 2 tokens. That's 2/2 now, but at this point of time, it's pretty vulnerable to consecration. But fortunately for Nyx, MrOpium doesn't have that on his hand yet. So he's gonna go ahead, use the True Silver Champion, clear out the Druid of the Claw, take the imminent threat off the board first, but he has to be careful though, he's gonna take 6 points of damage the next turn.
Yep, and Swipe is available for Nyx, although I don't think he wants to play. He does have Ancient of Lore, too bad he doesn't have 1 more mana, so it seems like he's just gonna go ahead and attack. 7 damage to the face already. Oh, he's even gonna swipe here, so quickly applying the pressure onto MrOpium. And MrOpium, though, he does have a Holy Light, so we might actually see that play be coming out here sometime soon.
I hope he does go for it, because he needs the extra health to make sure that he can keep himself back up. And for Nyx, I think next turn though, he's probably gonna play the Ancient of Lore, get some card drawback, because he's now sitting on only 2 cards.
For sure. Well, it seems like at
yeah.
least he healed himself up, so that's really good. Up to 15 life now. And Nyx, unfortunately, doesn't have quite the answer here. He's gonna actually use the Moonfire right off the bat, and the Silence onto the Loot Hoarder, making sure not to give him a chance to draw a card. Kill that off with his hero power and 4 damage to the face. Oh no, actually he's gonna trade off the bubble with the 2/2, which is pretty fine, yep. So still again, establishing a good board control there, and MrOpium gets a Avenging Wrath, although I don't think that's gonna be killing off 2 minions. Maybe it might kill 2 minions at most, but yeah. Let's see how it's gonna go.
I don't actually quite agree with the play there. yeah, pretty much depending on the RNG factor. But what you could have eventually done is use the True
nice.
Silver Champion to try to clear out the growth. Oh, there you go now. Galvin McAtor making his first appearance, I think.
Heal is probably the only answer here. But is he dead though? That's the question. If he uses the spell power there plus the swipe, that is 5 damage to the face. Yep, he's practically... No, he doesn't. He doesn't have enough because of the get down right there. So unfortunately, he's not gonna be able to kill him. He's one off lethal. So that's a little unfortunate for Nyx, but he can still get rid of MrOpium in the next turn, I believe.
I'm disappointed in him. He didn't play them, Galvin McIntyre. Yeah, indeed. But that's a pretty gimmicky play, so just opting to go for the safe option. And I think now Nyx should have this in his back here. I don't think MrOpium actually has the response to what Nyx has on the board.
Yep, and it's Ysera. He gets Ysera from the draw, but unfortunately can't play it. He is gonna go for the hit onto the Azudric, and unfortunately that's gonna mean his doom, because he's gonna be down to 6 life. And look at that, there is a swipe and spell power in hand. He's already dead. He knows it's over. Out goes MrOpium. Gonna go ahead and throw out the concede vote there, and unfortunately for him, he's gonna drop 1 game against Nyx right here. So Nyx finally gonna be able to get a win off MrOpium. So what do you think MrOpium's gonna be playing next here? Or oh, wait, what's that Nyx? Okay, I'm getting confused. Yeah,
I definitely hope he brings the Shaman deck back up.
Oh yes,
just like you mentioned, he has those ancestral spirits. And yeah, we are keeping our hopes alive. We might see Galvin actually for the upcoming match. And yeah, at least for Nyx, he secures once in the pocket. I want to see the Galvin, man. Come on, how often do you actually see Galvin in matches like this?
Very little, because it's just a really bad card. Especially in the tournament, you don't want to be running Galvin McIntyre, because that guy's gonna either make or break your day, and most of the time, 90% of the time, or let me just put it, 99.9% of the time, he's gonna screw your day up.
Yeah. Well, okay, let's put it in a theoretical situation. If you put on the Galvin and it drops a Pulverizer, you're pretty much gonna get a Tank Master effect now that the card has been changed to, change the random minion into either a 5/5 or a 1/1.
Yep.
So you pretty much get the chicken like every turn. So it's a pretty fun sight to see. But yeah, it's a pretty nasty card to have on your end.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like the thing is, like Pulverizer, if your enemy doesn't have any minions on the board, then you know you're gonna be screwed, because one of your guys is gonna be turned into chicken. Now, does Pulverizer also turn Galvin McIntyre into chicken? Is there a chance for that to happen, or? I'm not sure. I don't think
it could turn itself into a chicken as well.
Yeah, so you practically throw down a 6 mana cost 5/5 that turns into a chicken right off the bat as you end the turn. So you practically paid 6 mana for a chicken and a Pulverizer. How great is that? I mean, I don't know, man. That card's just so bad. Like it has no place in tournament, I feel. Unless someone proves me wrong, yeah.
But Nyx is gonna have that in his own deck, but so far haven't made its appearance yet. And so far though, I think Nyx played pretty well in the matchup earlier against the Paladin that MrOpium drafted out. And of course, he had some questionable plays with the Violet Teacher, but so far it did work out for him. And whoa, look, it's a Golden Scenaris.
Yep, looks pretty awesome actually. I'm not sure what's the effect for Scenarios now. Hopefully they added some special effects like they did for the Feral Spirit. But either ways, guys, we're into the second game here. It's gonna be MrOpium versus Nyx, the Shaman versus the Druid here. And unfortunately for MrOpium, no play. Just gonna go ahead and get the totem up. He's gonna get a snake totem there, so that's pretty good. And for Nyx though, he can play nothing. Well, he's gonna actually just play his Blood Mage Valanos. Now, that is probably gonna die because there is the Flame Tongue Totem in hand for Mr. Opium. He's gonna go ahead and just use that. Kill off the 2-1. I mean the 1-1, sorry, and get a card draw. What card is he gonna get? He's gonna get a Savage Roar. So that's pretty nice. Double Savage Roar ready for Nyx.
It's a very curious play actually for Nyx to drop the Blood Mage Talnos, because I think generally what you want to do is to keep that up and at least use that to try to combo out with some of your spells. And now it's only gonna give you that card draw and doesn't give your spell any booster at all. So I think that's a mistake there from Nyx actually.
Yeah, I'm also surprised that he decided to just, go ahead with that play instead. Well, Feral Spirits do come, swarming in, or I have no clue how to say that, but yeah.
Dashing into the battlefield.
They're dashing in, they're flying in. Really cool there, really nice effect there. Good job, Blizzard, for adding that in. 2 Thorns up already for Mr. Opium, and Nyx doesn't have much of a minion on board except the Archon Squire that can't even deal with that.
Yeah, and Nyx has to be careful as well. And actually he's gonna go ahead and use the Savage Roar, so he really wants to get the Feral Spirits off the board.
Yep, so Coin and the Savage Roar was used there, plus the Hero Power to get rid of that. And 1-1 and a 0-3 up on the board, but Mr. Opium, he does have another bunch of Feral Spirits to use. And I think, yep, he's gonna go ahead and do that. He's gonna be overloaded for 2 more mana again the next turn. But he can still play his Yeti. Hogger is actually gonna be making an appearance here for Nyx. Unfortunately, he doesn't have enough mana to play. He can innervate into that if he wants to, but again, I think we might see another Savage Roar Hero Power combo again. Yep, there we go. Savage Roar Hero Power combo again. Get rid of both the taunts again. And Mr. Opium's just thinking to himself, what the hell is up with these responses coming from Nyx right now?
Well, it's pretty much value for Nyx, I think, just to use the Savage Roar to clear out the board. Usually, you want to keep the Savage Roars in to do the finishing touches, but I think for Nyx here, using that to clear out the Wolves is definitely a great choice on his own spec. And for Mr. Opium here, 4 mana, he's going to be able to drop the Yeti though. And yeah, he's going to go ahead and do that. So that's another menacing creature that Nyx has to deal with now.
Hogger seems to be the play here. Now, do you actually agree with this? Because that's actually, I don't know, that's gonna be dealt with quite easily with things like Fire Elemental.
Yeah, it's a risk that you have to take, but I think against a Shaman, it's not exactly the best play, given the fact that, yeah, there's so many removal that the Shaman can just bring to the table. So Hogger makes its appearance and quickly makes its exit. So now once again, Opium with 1 move just has that, control on the board again. We'll use the swipe to clear out the Flame Tongue Totem actually. So he respects the additional threat that it brings to the table.
Well, Mr. Opium is just gonna go ahead and Lightning Bolt that. So that's kind of easy for him. Gets rid of that minion on the board. The 6/4 still looking strong. Ancestral Spirit, he's thinking about playing it on right now. I think he wants to save that for his Earth Elementals because he'll get a lot of more value out of that. Manatite Totem is going to be coming out here. And he's actually going to use the Ancestral Spirit. No? Maybe? Yes? Just going to attack face. There is Bloodlust in hand, by the way. So is that lethal next turn? No, I don't think it is, right? He has 19 lives.
No, it's not.
I don't know. Yeah.
I think he just wants to keep the threat on the board for himself. And, oh, there you go now.
He gets the Earth Elemental, but he doesn't have one of his...
And I like the new...
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the new animation for the Monotite Totem as well. Just gushing in and getting the extra card in. And now value for Nyx now.
Oh my god. That is insane. Look at that amount of minions on the board. Now, if there's a Lightning Storm though, that could actually... Oh! Isn't that lethal now? Wind Speaker... Oh no, he doesn't have enough mana for the Bloodlust.
Oh, what a waste! And yeah, just like you mentioned, he almost got the lethal in, and actually, yeah, he's gonna go ahead and clear the Violet Teachers, and I think that this is a pretty good play for himself.
Mhm.
So at least he clears away the teachers that's gonna spawn the apprentices. And Mr. Opium now, he has the. Does he have lethal this turn actually? Yeah, he does. The next one. So Nyx definitely has to look for the response here.
Well, he can scenarios and give everything a 2/2, which is actually very scary right now. So that is actually
Oh yeah.
pretty damn devastating right now. He's gonna kill off the 3/3, 4 to the face, I believe, or maybe even just kill off the health totem. Yep, and end the turn. So now the tables have been turned instantly. That is actually very scary. Now Hex is probably gonna be coming out. Yep, onto the scenarios there. He's gonna actually overload himself by 5. Oh, well, actually 4. Sorry. So next turn he will only effectively have 6 mana. He can play the Bloodlust, which would mean he would be able to win the game here. There is of course a lot of options for Nyx to get rid of the Earth Elemental there, so pretty easy for him. Just swipe, kill off the 6/1 as well at the same time, and run one of the 4/1s. I mean the 4/1 into that 7/8. So the response is there already.
Maximum value.
Yep, maximum
Yeah.
value, and he can actually charge this and attack face. So he's gonna go for a bear farm instead and just deal 8 damage to the face and end turn. So now actually it's looking pretty good for Nyx because he's established the board back in his favor, and MrOpium doesn't have anything that can help him out right now. He is actually gonna straight away hex that and use the Stormforge Axe. He's even gonna play Big Game Hunter here though. So yeah.
Yeah, he needs to get as much targets for himself. He cannot afford to just take all those damage from the apprentices. So Nyx now, he is pretty much on he's pretty much on the controlling position. And he's gonna drop out the 0/0 Drake here just to get a card draw in as well. So pretty dominating force here. So
Oh,
Mr.
we're gonna
Opium,
steal a rag.
YOLO rag!
There we go. Yep, it's coming up from down under. Who is it gonna hit? The totem comes up. It's a searing one, and it's gonna hit one of the Answer Drakes there because at least it does hit a minion. So it will be able to redeem some value back there, but that is ultimately going to die.
I think the chances for Mr. Opium is dwindling down every turn as it goes. Because he is playing very reactively to what Nyx puts on the table. And Nyx still has a ton of responses, and he's gonna go ahead and use the 2 minutes trade out for Ragnaros there. And then use the Ancient of Law, get some more card draw in. So unless Mr. Opium pulls off some kind of big play here, I don't think he's gonna be able to come back from this one.
Yeah, he just keeps getting his minions killed time after time after time again, so he's looking pretty sad right now. He does have a Fork Lightning, although that doesn't really help out as much here. Oh well, actually it can. If he had the spell damage, he would have been able to kill off the 5/5. But Fork Lightning is in fact going to be coming out here, I think. He will be able to deal with the 1/1. But the 5/5 will still be on the board, so that is pretty devastating for him right now.
And Mr. Opium just buying for time here. So for Nyx at least he could still get some minions on the board here. It's gonna take a while for him to try to finish off Mr. Opium, but Mr. Opium, he only has one card in hand, and that's the Bloodlust. And that's not gonna do anything for him to try to reverse the situation as of now.
Yeah, exactly. Unfortunately, Bloodlust just doesn't really do much when you don't have minions on the board, so... Unbound Elemental though, and again, that is probably going to die if this is not a Taunt Totem. Does he get it? Nope, he gets a Spell Totem, so unfortunately for him, he's gonna be losing his Unbound. Galvin Mechatorg makes his appearance here. What is he gonna spawn? It's gonna be...
there you go now!
Pulverizer!
Pulverizer! There you go!
That is pretty awesome.
Loving it, man.
Now here's a question though, do you kill off minions? Or do you actually like let the minions stay on the board?
Please don't kill off the Pulverizer.
Yeah, he's going to draw a card here. And what card is he gonna get? He's gonna get Druid the Claw. It's pretty decent. Power of the Wild here to buff up all his minions, I believe. And he's gonna kill off the 2/3, I think. Kill that off. Hero Power. attack phase. Yep. Hopefully, Pulverizer is gonna turn that into chicken. Is it gonna happen though? Wait. Oh, it's at the next. It's at the start of the next turn. Alright, okay.
Yeah.
So, Rock Fighter here. Unfortunately, again, it's not gonna be enough. Does he Bloodlust to clear this off the board, the Galban Mechator?
Yeah, I think he has to. That's the big damage threat that he has now. And actually, I think
he made the misplay.
Yeah, he should have used the Rock Fighter. Yeah, so big misplay there, and I think that's it. Yeah, with that misplay there, it's definitely gonna be Nyx's game to take now.
Yep.
Well, he could pray. Yeah, actually, he could have left. Yeah, he could have left the.
Oh, okay, he's gonna survive.
Yeah, actually, what I was gonna say that is that he could try to keep the Galban alive and hope that the Pulverizer screwed him over. But yeah, it's gonna be the Druid of the Claw to finish the job here, and
what a top
Nyx takes 2 games straight. Yeah.
Yep, 2 games straight, man. What a way to end this best out of 3 series, and in this Group B here. What a show match that was. We got to see Galban Mechator just for the lols. And it's pretty awesome to see the Chickinator. I mean, the what was it called again? The Pulverizer?
Pulverizer.
Yeah. It did turn the Galban Mechator. Wait, wasn't the Galban Mechator? What was
Harvest Golem.
Yeah, it turned the Harvest Golem into a little chicken there. So, chicken for the win. Chicken. A round of chicken for everyone there. And that's gonna do it here for this Group B. Guys, do stay tuned because we've got a lot more Hearthstone action. We've got Group C coming up next, and so don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. We'll probably be right back at 7 p.m. GMT plus 8. That is for those of you that don't know or are overseas. That is again 7 p.m. GMT plus 8, and we'll be back for that. So guys, do stay tuned. Don't go anywhere, and we'll have a lot more Hearthstone action.